Hello, everybody. Welcome to World 101 Podcast. I'm your host, ADV. Joining me is my co-host and awesome guy, Mr. Adrian Nieto.
What's going on, everyone?
Everything's going good. How's your weekend been?
Tiresome, but with a lot of Star Fox, which is good times.
Yeah, I haven't started mine yet. I still got the box. I love the box art. That box art
Oh,
is
it
so
looks
nice.
so good.
Oh, yes. I haven't
I'm
started
actually
it yet.
wearing my Star Fox Zero shirt right now.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm really jealous. Oh, I see.
I don't know if you'll be able to take a look in the back, but can you see it?
You have to stand up.
It says, well, whatever.
It says,
I'm not
it
going to do it
says,
right now
it
because
says,
people can't see it anyway.
it says
Um,
flight crew.
Yeah, it says Flight Crew. Yeah,
Oh,
which is really cool.
I think at PAX, they were doing, if you come, and play the game and get tickets, you could trade the tickets in and get t-shirts for
Oh, that's
PAX. And I think
fantastic.
that same t-shirt you got, they had, and one of my, Jesus from, Simon's Cakes, he was
Yeah,
there. And I didn't realize
yeah,
that. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, they're all there. Yeah.
Shout outs to Simon's Cakes. He was there, and I thought he was going today, and he's just like, no, I didn't get this day's pass. And I'm just like, no, I wanted a shirt.
Oh,
So, hopefully Nintendo is selling one. Hopefully my Nintendo rep comes in and, while he's doing his work, we get some trinkets and I could get a t-shirt from him.
that
I
would
would
be
be
cool.
happy.
Although I don't know, these look kind of limited, so
Uh,
I hope you get one, but
I want
it
that.
will be hard to find. Yeah.
I want that one, and I want the white T-shirt with the fox on it. I'm just like, oh, please, someone make this. Come on, Nintendo, sell this. I need the shirt so bad. I know I've been playing the division. Getting, I think, close to the end. I got like 12 more levels that I need to go up to be like at maximum level. But I think I'm halfway done with the game, like 60% done. And I got Star Fox and I'm ready to work on it, but I have to put it on the back burner. I
Yeah.
really need to get done with the division, and then I gotta play, Eat Lead, the Matt Hazard story. I gotta do that, cause the special podcast is being done with that. And I'm supposed to be starting Skyward Sword this week, so let's see how that
The
goes.
famous Skyward Sword.
Yeah, for our discussion next month, so I gotta get ready for that for optional opinion and things. Uh,
Yeah.
but we're gonna get a little bit into the show. Right, our indie watch, Mr. Adrian Nieto. What's on your indie watch today?
So for everyone tuning in for the first time, Indie Watch is a small segment where we talk about indie games that are out or that are coming out that we are excited to play or have played and they're still really cool. So actually, for today, we were going to talk about an indie game that came out like almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, exactly. Which is Shovel Knight, which is the greatest indie game in history.
Uh,
Shout out to Anthony Cantu who sent me a Shovel Knight amiibo that he got for me. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate it. You have no idea how happy this makes me. This bad boy is coming to the office with me, so I can take a look at him every time I'm making my own games. So why are we talking about Shovel Knight right now? We've talked about Shovel Knight so many times already. We talked about Shovel Knight on Optional Opinion. I talk about Shovel Knight we talk about Shovel Knight on the NBC Video Game Book Club.
yes,
We talk about Shovel Knight on Simon's Cake podcast.
we
We've talked
talked it
about
on
Shovel
here.
Knight.
Like the first or second episode, we talked about Shovel Knight here. How we
Yeah,
love it.
exactly. So we talk about Shovel Knight all the time. So why is it back on the radar? Mostly because, not only because I got my amiibo, but because Japan is finally getting Shovel Knight. And they have a bundle on a nice little box that has the amiibo plus the game on 3DS. Is it 3DS or Wii U? I'm actually not clear on that.
I think it's 3DS.
I think it's 3DS as well, yeah. So it's fantastic news for Japan. I'm guessing 8-4 Play did the localization for
Yes.
that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did.
I'm not sure, but yeah, they did. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. So okay, it's been 2 years. Shovel Knight is finally hitting Japan. We have no idea how well it's doing or it's gonna do, depending on where this goes live and when the game came out there. I'm not 100% sure on that. But why is Shovel Knight still important, in your opinion?
It's still important because it really brings that old NES gameplay and like from the music, the graphics, the challenge, like it brings it back to this modern age, and it just feels so right. And to actually, I think of it as this way. Definitely, when it hit in Japan, it reminds them how games were created and were made, and was just like I don't think that a lot of Japanese developers, you know, remember how they created great games like this. So I feel like to me this feels like a kind of reminder, like a course in school to relearn how to make a great game, a great 8-bit old design. You know,
That is an amazing point.
because trust me, if if Kenji Inafune played this game, he would literally be like, "Wow, I used to make games like this when I got into the industry." Like you can see that NES feel into it. Like I think it would completely surprise him, and I think a lot of developers will be surprised. Not so much as the players, but I'm like I think that game is needed in Japan just for the developers alone to play to be like, wow, the influence that we put on America is coming like kind of back to us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually I don't know if Keiji Inafune will play it. I hope he does, but I'm thinking of other companies like like Konami as well, or even like Capcom too,
Yes.
right? I wonder if some of the developers there will check out Shovel Knight. They're like, hey, so this was a very big hit in America. Maybe should we revisit some of those roots? Because I think both Konami and Capcom, they've been staying away from those things that made them great
Right.
to begin with. Everything Konami, and this has nothing to do with Kojima, but everyone at Konami is like, big budget, cinematic experiences and stuff like that, which is fine. But I think, at least in my opinion, Contra was what made Konami great back in the day.
Yes.
Now, was Konami the developer or the publisher for Contra?
Both. Konami was the developer and publisher.
I'm publisher. Okay, yeah. I wasn't like 100% sure on that. So like exactly like when I think Konami, like when I think good old Konami, I think Metal Gear Solid One, Contra. Those are like the two main games that are stuck in my head. I think they developed some of the TMNT games, right?
Yeah, they did. So they made
Yeah, exactly.
they actually did the arcade and they did a home conversion. Now, when
Yeah.
which is the story about that is weird. So, during the NES days, you only were able to put out 5 games for the NES.
Yeah, exactly.
So
The NES.
Konami kind of split their company into two. So when you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games for the NES, they came on under the name of Ultra. Uh, and then
Mm.
when they got to the arcade and later on to the Super Nintendo, they went back to having the Konami name, but it was still Ultra until I think the Manhattan Project, which is their third game in the Turtle series for the NES. I think it's still under Ultra, but I think it went back under Konami's name. I know TMNT 1 and TMNT 2, the arcade game, those are both under the Ultra name.
Yeah. So like it just shows you how like good those games were back in the day, and I hope they check out Shovel Knight and they're like, man, let's revisit some of their roots. Let's get a license for TMNT again, or let's make like a new Contra game, but like really settled on that like old school art style that way it was. Capcom was like, hey, no, a Mega Man, like this is still very popular. Let's keep making Mega Man. So I don't know. That's one of my hope. Why do I think Shovel Knight is still important? It's one of the greatest indie games out there. It appeals to everyone. I mean,
Yes.
there are many amazing indie games that have come out from Kickstarter or from other companies and whatnot. But I don't think some of them are very accessible. Last week, you guys were talking about Shantae and the Pirate Curse, right?
Yes.
Which is a cool game, but I don't think is as welcoming as Shovel Knight is.
Well,
Shovel Knight,
the thing with Shantae is that it's always been more of an American studio, Americanized game because of WayForward. A lot of WayForward projects haven't been really talked about out of the country, like in Japan and stuff like that. It's only kind of been such a big deal here in America because it was that old school platforming game that nobody was doing. So Shantae,
well, no, and that's fine. Like, I mean, people from Yacht Club came out from WayForward, and then they started doing Shovel Knight, right?
Yes, and the thing about Shantae is it goes all the way back to the Game Boy Advance. So it's
actually no, it goes to Game Boy Color.
I thought it was Advance.
No, there is a Game Boy Color game. I saw it on the 3DS eShop.
Really? Oh, I thought it was Advance.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I'm actually trying to see if I find a physical copy of that game because I would love to have Shantae on my Game Boy Color. Like, are you kidding me? That will be fantastic. I'm like I've never played it, so I'm kind of curious to see how that game is.
Yeah, I have
the Game Boy Color. Yeah, the Game Boy Color is known for having two buttons, and that's it. So, kind of curious to see what they do with just two buttons right there, right?
Well, yeah, because that one was like a old school platform game, just like Shovel Knight is. That's like straight platforming.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, my point is that even though there's many great indie games out there, I think Shovel Knight actually has an entry level for all ages. I checked some of the games that I like that are indie, and they've been in Kickstarter or Steam Greenlight or whatever, which are stuff like the Banner Saga, which is like a tactical RPG. That's really cool, but man, you have to be very perceptive of things you have to do. It's not a very welcoming game by any sense of the imagination. And then I checked some other games like Yooka-Laylee that is coming out later as well.
Yes,
man, that game is gonna be hardcore N64 era.
It's straight the old school wear. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. No, exactly. So like I'm saying, like I went back to Banjo-Kazooie again this year. Like I need another excuse to play Banjo-Kazooie. I play now yearly basically.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking like, man, like I don't think like if I put my 7-year-old nephew playing Banjo-Kazooie, I don't think he'll be able to make it. Like in all honesty, and he's good at some beauty games, but I think Banjo-Kazooie is just too hardcore for him.
I think it depends on which, because I wouldn't say don't start him with Banjo-Kazooie. I think maybe Crash Bandicoot would be better for him. Like Crash Bandicoot or maybe Jak and Daxter might be better before you get into Banjo-Kazooie. I think because Banjo-Kazooie is more bigger and more linear. I don't know if he'll be like, I gotta keep going back to this world. I gotta keep doing this challenge and stuff. But I think like Crash and Jak and Daxter kind of mix it up a little bit.
Well, does it though? I mean, like I remember my experience with Crash, and I mean Crash is fun, but I honestly I don't have the nostalgia factor because I didn't grow up with a PS1. But I'm happy. Apparently, it's coming back next year.
I
I
think so.
think there was
Yeah,
a teaser for it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy for everyone that is getting their Crash game. I don't have the nostalgia factor for it, but we've been talking, we've been rambling a lot.
May
Point
I,
is,
may I say this about Shovel Knight,
yeah,
and Shovel Knight and Capcom in general? If anyone who doesn't remember the Disney games that Capcom made for the NES, we if you could, if there's a way to get your hands on it, revisit DuckTales, revisit Rescue Rangers. I think Tailspin had one, but like kind of revisit those games, and you would see why something like Shovel Knight is appreciated. Yes, Mega Man is everybody about playing Mega Man, and people are still learning and playing Mega Man. But I think a lot of people don't realize that there's additional platforming games like Capcom in their Disney games that really made them stand out, like platform games. Mega Man is more of an action kind of platformer, but like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers, those are like platform games.
yeah, and yeah. So I mean, it's amazing Shovel Knight coming out to Japan now on 3DS, bundled with the amiibo, which is a beautiful, beautiful looking amiibo. It's probably my favorite amiibo of them all. He just looks amazing, ready for battle there.
Yeah, he looks really good.
So very cool. Yeah. What else can we say about Shovel Knight that we haven't said before? I don't think there's anything.
I'm happy to say that it still sells well, and people are still falling in love with it. It's good that people are still talking about it, because you don't get retro style games that people keep talking about it, and it's been 2 years that we're talking about this game, and hopefully we talk about it more because people in Japan are getting their hands on it. Now, I will say the indie scene in Japan is a little bit harder compared to America, but I really hope they push it out, and word of mouth gets out, and people in Japan be like, hey, I think you guys really need to play this. Like, I hope it kind of takes away the ideal of mobile gaming, and people get back to handheld gaming, or even back to the Wii U. I don't know what systems is on in Japan. I wonder if they put it on everything. I think it might just be Nintendo systems at the moment, and maybe PC.
Maybe because if I'm not mistaken, I think Nintendo's publishing it.
Nintendo's publishing. Well, I hope that people really like play on those systems and be like, you guys are missing out on a good game. You guys, and we know that 3DS is big in Japan, so they need. Hopefully, people decide to pick it up and play it on their 3DS and carry it on the go, and really just talk about it. Cause man, I would say this: Shovel Knight is a game that we're probably gonna be talking about for the next 10 years. And then when it comes to a big discussion of greatest game of all time, Shovel Knight is gonna be up probably from 1 to 10, like depending on who's talking about it. Like there's gonna be just straight like games that we still talk about and consider as classic. And I think the first day that Shovel Knight dropped, that everybody played it, it was an automatic 10. It was like became people's game of the year.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? This whole thing about Shovel Knight coming in Japan makes me kind of sad that I don't own a Japanese 3DS. Because, like, man, if I had a Japanese 3DS, I would totally import a copy of Shovel Knight in Japanese so I can learn Japanese while playing one of my favorite games ever.
I wonder if you could order it off of Amazon, since they're doing.
I can, but I also need to order the 3DS, and it's like, well. I don't have the money to spend on those two things.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I would say watch a video, maybe one level, and see how it's like if the localization is done. Because I think everything is still the same. I think it's just the localization that's different in Japan.
Oh, no. I agree. I'm pretty sure the game is exactly the same as it is here. But I mean, I learned my English mostly playing video games and watching TV. So, like, why not try to pick up Japanese while playing Shovel Knight?
Because it's
like I'll play Shovel Knight. Sorry,
it's probably like in kanji. or something.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I can grab a Kanji dictionary and be like, okay, this means this, and then the next character. Okay, that means that, and this wiggly line with another two crossing by. This means this. All right.
You just want to
I
play
read
the
one word.
international version.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, that is Indie Watch for this week. Shovel Knight, amazing game. So go and pick it up. I mean, just do yourself a favor, pick up the best indie game out there for sure.
Yes.
Oh, and then stay tuned and buy a Tuna Cycle in May.
Wait, what?
Well, hopefully it will be out by May, but we're working on it. So yes.
Oh, cannot wait for that. More details to come soon. Yay!
Sure.
So, that's it for Indie Watch. And we're gonna get to our main discussion. Star Fox Zero came out this past Friday, and we don't know the sales or anything about that, but it's been mixed. Not so much mixed reviews, but there's kind of been a debate among it. Some people who actually play the games, like gamers, are kind of debating on why the reviewers, some of the reviewers are reviewing it low or not getting the hang of the game, and it's mostly because of the controls. They say that the game is good for what it is and what it offers, but a lot of people are having problems with the controls. Now, there's some people in the community who are loving the game and loving the controls, and there are people who still love the game and the series, but really having a hard time dealing with the controls. Arthur from Polygon, give me 1 second. Arthur Geese, he wrote on Twitter that he's not going to be playing Star Fox because of the controls. And you can read the story. It's titled Star Fox Zero Channels Everything Bad About Wii U Game Design. And he wrote a blog about it, wrote a feature on it, and people really got upset about it. And made a big deal about it. And I always say, and he says in the blog that this is not a review and that he's not going to play the game because of the controls. And I presented a question. The way I presented the question to Adrian was about realistic graphics versus authentic controls, but we already talked about graphics and gameplay. Authentic controls. Why do you think people are having a hard time playing the game with this kind of control setup? So, if you need to know, with Star Fox Zero, you use your TV and you use your gamepad. You use the TV for kind of to move your ship around and see what's going in the area. The gamepad is used for your cockpits to actually get more accurate on shooting down enemies. And so you gotta switch between two views. And Miyamoto believed that when you do this, it makes you really feel like you're in an airplane flying. What do you think, Adrian?
So I've had the game for 2-3 weeks now. I've been playing it since early April, and the first time that I started playing it, I gotta say it was weird. It was kind of confusing. Of course, I did the tutorial and I followed the tutorial. There is a lot to take in on the Star Fox Zero. Some things I like, some things I not really. I wish there was a way to map some of the keys. There's no way to do that. But other than that, I think people are having a hard time just because of the multitasking. I don't think people get that they have to. I mean, they have a choice. First of all, right? They can look at the TV or look at the gamepad, or they can multitask and look at both.
Right.
Some stages in Star Fox Zeroes makes you have to multitask and look at both screens. Right? You look in one of the buses or some of the buses. you're looking where the boss is on the TV, and you're trying to get close to him. And then when you look back at the gamepad, then you can see where his weak spot is, and then shoot at that. So it's a lot easier to make to shoot them that way. I agree. It's not intuitive. It's not something that you just pick up and that's it. But if you like get past that and you play the game and you keep fighting the controls and you keep getting better, man, once you get them down, oh, it's so much fun. I finished the game 4 times already. Today was my 5th time finishing the entire game. It takes me, I did a speed run. It takes me an hour and 16 minutes is my best time so far.
Wow.
Beating the entire game. Yeah, and I got lucky. I got some areas that I didn't know about before. Like I just discovered those areas today. And it was interesting. I was kind of scared, like, man, I'm wasting a lot of time here because I've never played this area before. But like I still like I had a very, very good time, more than decent, I would say, actually. And it just made me excited of all the things that I can pull off. There is a moment, I'm not gonna mention which boss battle, but there's a moment on which you have to change between the Arwen and the
Gyro.
No, the Walker. I guess I was gonna call it chicken legs, just like they do in IGN. But there is a moment in which you have to fight a boss and you have to change between those a lot, right?
Yeah.
And there were people like looking at me, and I asked them like, "Hey, do you want to play?" Like, no, dude, you're doing fantastic right now. Just show me how this plays now, because I'm just curious to see how you beat this boss. And it was just like me and the Arwen. I would like avoid a bunch of stuff, then change back to the Walker, take a look at the enemy, and then just start shooting the weak spot. And then like he will like try to grab me again and just do the same thing. And it will like I will repeat this thing over and over again. But it seemed so seamlessly that everyone around me was like, "Oh man, like I that's how the game is playing." Like, well, I don't know if that's how the game is meant to be played. That's how I played, and I think I'm doing pretty good. So my recommendation for everyone out there that are kind of complaining about the controls, just get past that. Just keep playing. Play for more than a couple of minutes. Just keep playing. You'll get better, and once you get better, you'll just love Star Fox.
And I think a lot of people are just scared because it's new. And a lot of people are not used to learning new controls. They're used to being like, okay, I know this genre and I'm comfortable with it. If it plays like this game, and sometimes you can't really compare games like that, they already have an expectancy it's gonna play like this. And everybody should know Nintendo like told you guys that it was gonna be something different. Miyamoto even said it was gonna be something different. And if you thought you was gonna be able to go into the game and be like, well, I'll be able to master this, it shouldn't be too hard, and then go in and feel like that is new and you gotta learn and it's difficult, it shouldn't be the reason to give up. It makes you want to play more so you can get better. And I love video games that do that. That makes you want to get better. That challenge you to get better. Like I said, I haven't started the game yet, but I'm like, if you even played the old N64 and Super Nintendo Star Fox games, those games are very challenging. And I feel like this Star Fox looks very easier because of the motion control, because of the authentic controls having the cockpit. To give me more accuracy and be able to move around and look like it's good for me, definitely, because I already multitask in games. Like, how can you accept games like Dark Souls, but you can't accept a game like Star Fox Zero because of the controls?
I think people are nowadays. I believe everyone, and this is a discussion that I was having on the NBC group. Everyone is kind of used to standard controls, right? Like first person shooters, they have a standard control. Racing games, they have a standard control. Fighting games, they have somewhat standard controls as well. My argument was like, well, like who standardized controls for Star Fox? Star Fox is very unique. It's not like a flying simulator game. It's not like a racing game. It's not like a shooter game. So who standardized those controllers? Like that was Nintendo, and like they're more than free to change the formula at any time.
Yes.
And I think they did a fantastic job. To be honest, I mean, I if I say that it feels easier than Star Fox 64, it's because I think I've played more hours of Star Fox Zero already than I ever play single player on the Star Fox 64. Sorry.
Right.
But like I think if I spend the same hours on the Star Fox 64, I would actually think 64 is a lot easier. Man, there's a lot of challenges packed in Zero. There is so many different paths that I think it has even more branching path than Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
And some of the challenges are insane. Like today, for example, I beat a hidden boss. That's all I'm gonna say. The thing was beat it under like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I think. On my first try, I beat him like 4:30. I was like, man, I don't think I can do better than that. But I kept trying, and I got today at 1:46. And I was like, yes, finally. Then I saw a tweet that someone beat in like 58 seconds. And I was like, that's bullshit. That's not even cool. I hate whoever finished this in 48 seconds. That was not fun. No. You're a jerk, sir. But anyway, so yeah, like I think people are used to their standard controls. Just give it a try. Just free your mind. This year, chances are most of people that are gonna listen, they're gonna be playing VR. That's a whole new, different way to look at video games.
Right.
Think of a Star Fox of the same thing. Just think of the controls in Star Fox as something brand new that you've never experienced before, and give it a try. Just give it a try.
Yeah, I think of it as this with authentic controls. When they make you feel like this is how similar something, because to me I really want to see like people who been in a cockpit, who been pilots. I want to see them do like a BuzzFeed or a React thing where they play Star Fox Zero and learn the game and be like, yeah, what they did in this game feels like what I do as a job, or what I used to do as a retired pilot or something like that. I would love to see that, because I'm like, if the pilots could recognize this and they was just like, yeah, these controls are very authentic, this gameplay, the stuff that they're doing, that's how we would actually be at fighting or dogfighting. This is how we would actually do it. Definitely for people who was playing goodness, what is that Atlas game? It used to be for Wii. You was like a doctor.
Oh, Rodea?
Trauma Center.
Trauma Center.
Yeah, Trauma Center. Where even though it wasn't like full like operation, it makes you feel like that with the game, with the remote. That kind of feel like almost a little bit as authentic controls, because you were kind of also operating. I mean, you would change and stuff, trying to get the right thing, and they kind of made it feel gamey. But I'm just like, wow, you kind of have to take your time to cut through the line to make sure that you don't cut the wrong part and stuff. Like, it really makes you feel like a surgeon and stuff. And I think there's a lot of people who don't realize that when you get a game that has authentic controls, you think that you know it, but you actually don't. And when you have to take time to learn it, some people find that, they don't find that fun. But I'm just like, it makes you actually a better gamer. Because then you know that skill to be able to carry over into a next game, or even another genre that offers almost the same thing. I was talking to my friend. I was just like, there's been reports for people who play like Mario Kart, who use those skills on the road, to avoid accidents and stuff. Like, and people who play maybe Need for like people who play driving games and stuff, whether it's arcade or similar simulated. There's people who got used to those controls that they presented in real life, and it kind of saved their lives and stuff.
Yeah, sure. It's just a matter of opening your mind, I guess, and giving something new a try. Don't just bitch about it. Don't just listen to what people are saying. Make your own opinion. Just try it out by yourself and see if you like it. I'm pretty sure you will.
Right, and I was the first person that at my job to buy the game. No one has bought it yet, but I feel like when it gets closer to summer or so downtime, I think people are going to come in and start buying the game. And realize how good it really is. Now, regardless of what the scores are, regardless of it might be a game that actually sells well and actually blow professional journalists or reviewers' minds to be like, well, we had all these problems, but it seems that you guys were enjoying this game. How do you guys, what is your feedback and why do you actually like the game compared to versus to what we had to say and what we thought of the game?
Yeah, I hope people like it. Honestly, it's a good game. I don't think all the shit that the game is getting is funded. I think you should give it a try. This is one of the most polished Wii U games out there. Platinum did an amazing job on the action side. Holy moly, is this game very action. It keeps me on my toes all the time. And again, like I said, like I've been playing it for the past 3 weeks, and I can't get enough Star Fox. Like I'm discovering new things. I'm trying to do all the challenges. So.
And I'm completely scared that it's going to be so addictive to me because Star Fox does that to me. I was telling Larry about that with Star Fox. When I played it on the Super Nintendo, I would spend almost 2 to 3 hours replaying that whole game over and over. I mean, I never beat the original Star Fox. I even got like really far in the game, but every time I ended all my lives, used all my continues or whatever, I would start right again. And Star Fox for the SNES introduced me to introverted controls with the flying. I didn't know the name for it and stuff. And I feel like with this Star Fox Zero, it seems that it looks like that it still has it, but it looks to be more easier. I guess
it is more understandable. The controls there. It kind of feels like a plane, really, like you're flying a plane to some extent. It makes me wish, if I'm honest, Nintendo made just for Star Fox 2 joysticks that you can use to fly the game. That will be so good on the Star Fox Zero.
Which reminds me, have you seen that Star Wars arcade game?
The new one, you mean?
No, there's a Star Wars game that is like a big bubble that you actually get in, and it makes you feel like you're flying one of the ships. And so it's on rails, but you're using like I think you're using one joystick. But it makes
that's the new
like,
one, yeah.
And it's
we don't have it here in Canada, but I've heard good things about it there in the States. Yeah,
it kind of feels like that, but that one is little arcadey, and that one is actually is harder controlled compared to Star Fox Zero.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, again, I wish I had 2 joysticks to fly my stuff. I think it will be so much fun.
That'd be an arcade game, Star Fox Arcade. Oh
yeah,
but then Bandai Namco would have to make it.
Yeah.
So I say, yeah, I'm with you, Adrian. Play the game. I recommend people playing it, picking it up, or even doing co-op with a friend and stuff. If you don't feel, because I really want to see like dads and sons or dads or moms or whoever, I would like to see family and friends get together and really play that game. And I know some people are going to be like, "Oh, I don't know how to play." And if they just be like, "Well, you control, as long as you control the flight, I'll do the shooting." And if they could do that, and everybody's having fun, it'll be good to go. I think people would just be like, "This game is really fun." It might not sell you on the Wii U yet, and I don't think the Wii U has bad game design. I think with Nintendo, as always, they want to change how you think about games and how you play them. They don't want to stay in the same formula. Um, and because if they stayed in the same formula, you won't have innovation. And that's what I love about the video game industry, when someone actually does something innovative. Yes, we might have our problems with VR, just right now, but it's pushing it. It's pushing the boundaries. I'm more critical and looking at it to be like how long lasting it's going to be as a game, and how will people get their money's worth of it. It doesn't interest me now, because I haven't gotten a try to play it. Like I said, like this PAX East would have been awesome if Sony would have promoted it more, about them having VR. I would love to see people get like more reactions about that. If they would be in like a PAX East and playing it there. I think right now Sony, even though E3 is coming up, I think Sony needs to get that product out so people can start playing it and getting more of an idea. Because Sony and Microsoft really don't do stuff like that. They really don't promote their products actually at conventions where people could really get their hands on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I have nothing else to say about that except yes.
So, we don't have too much of a long show. We're going to get into our plugs. Adrian, what do you have to plug?
So yeah, the reason why we have a short show this week, it's because I'm preparing to hit Calgary Expo, Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. I think that's the full name of the place, which is like like a local Comic Con here, but it's very big. 100,000 people come every year for that convention there. So yeah, we're going. Me and my friends, we're going as the Frozen Machine. We're going to be there for all 4 days, presenting Tuna Cycle. Presenting the company and giving some really cool stuff. If you get like a good score, you may win. Like a shirt or a mug or some other stuff there. So yeah, I mean, some really cool stuff. And then the weekend after that, we're going to the Game Developers Experience here in the city. So man, like that's two conventions back to back. No time to rest. So that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why a short show this week. I just have to get ready. I have to clean my apartment. Have to start working on my suitcase, and of course, I have to finish Tuna Cycle, which is the big thing.
And do you have any dates for those shows? I mean, those conventions.
On any what? Sorry.
Any dates for those conventions, like dates and times or anything?
For the conventions, you mean, or the game release?
The conventions.
Oh, so the conventions for Calgary Expo is this April 28th to the 1st, to May 1st. Then the Game Developers Experience is, I think it starts on Friday, so it's going to be May 6th, 7th, and 8th. Again, no time to rest. I finish one, drive back, rest for a day, keep working, then the next one. It's just ludicrous.
So that's awesome. And Frozen Machine will have a release date in May. Tentative release date in May. We don't know just what day it is, but I definitely cannot wait to get a copy and play it. I can't wait to actually put my money down, buy me a copy, and enjoy.
Appreciate it, man. So yeah, just check thefrozenmachine.com. You can see the teaser trailer for Tuna Cycle right there. You can play some of the other games that we worked on when we were in school. So just go and check that out. You can follow, the Frozen Machine on Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, just Frozen Machine on Twitter, because Twitter doesn't have enough characters to put "da" in the beginning. It's so stupid.
You're supposed
But
to put
anyway,
DA.
exactly. So, just check that out. Also, the NBC Video Game Book Club. We're gonna have the discussion
Yay!
for Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo this following weekend. Although by the time this episode drops, it's gonna be tomorrow. So I won't be able to be part of that discussion. That's gonna be the third discussion that I've missed in over a year of the book club. But of course, I'm gonna be busy with my stuff, so I can't really. I don't want to postpone the discussion just for my sake. So either not Edward. Well, maybe you all as well. Maybe you can take the lead. But either Johnny, John, or Anthony are gonna be hosting that. So yeah, just check that out, and follow any of the cool people that are doing podcasts that we know about. The Geek Guru the Geek Cast is a good one. What else? The DNA podcast, of course. Yeah, exactly. Simon's Cake podcast, Cake. Happy Hour with Johnny and Deuce. I mean, how can I forget about that?
Okay, so I did a podcast recording with those guys, and I cannot wait for it to be released for you guys to hear it. I had a complete ball with them. Like, we could have talked for hours, but man, it was such an awesome time. So that will be coming soon. I don't know when yet, but I cannot wait to hear it.
Yeah, it was a really all these shows that I mentioned, they're good shows. So go and check them out. And of course, the big elephant in the room, elephant though, a wise elephant. The Optional Opinion podcast is finally on iTunes.
Yay!
Holy moly, it's been a long time coming. That makes me super happy. I was listening to you for like 3 hours going to work today, and I'm listening to you again, so I'm sick of you. So let's end this so I can go and make food.
Yes, Optional Opinion is on iTunes with World 1-1. So if you go to your search, just type in Optional Opinion and subscribe, you would get Optional Opinion and the World 1-1 podcast. I do have to put up one more episode for World 1-1 to make sure that all of it's up to date. But you can find more of us on Facebook under World 1-1 podcast. You can even email the show and let us know what you guys think about Shovel Knight, what you guys think of Star Fox Zero and Authentic Controls. Also, if anyone that's playing the Japanese version, the international version, I should say, of Shovel Knight, you can email us at world11podcast@gmail.com. That's WORLD11 podcast podcast @gmail.com. You can find us on SoundCloud and on iTunes. You can also find me, not the lyrical one. I'm sorry. That's my Xbox Live. You can find me on Twitter under that retro code. TheRetrocode. This week, I have just finished doing a week of Optional Opinion blog. Well, it ain't Mario, where I talked about B-rated, platformers. So do check out that out. You can find that on IGN.com under anime, ENIME, and also check out that Optional Opinion podcast where I do a rundown of those topics and give a couple of game recommendations. Shout out to our Big Papa Larry Giver. He wasn't able to make it on this episode. He had family obligations, so we just wanted to let people know about that. Anything else? We already did the plugs for all the other podcasts. MVC Video Game Book Club. They're playing Donkey Kong, and that will be the discussion. We're still waiting to see what the game is for May, so we will let you guys know about that later on. And also RIP to Prince. He passed away at the age of 57. People been watching Purple Rain, buying his CDs and stuff. He was, like I said, he was a legend and he was an icon to many. And with that being said, we are out. Bye.
Later.